Hey everyone, my name is Ambarish, and today's video is all about Docker certification examination. I've recently completed Docker certification examination on 16th of Feb 2021. When I gave the examination or when I was preparing for the examination, I couldn't see much of a video or detailing around the examination, especially for the from the people who have given the examination in 2021 or in the recent times. So I thought that it's a good. I think it's good for the people who are into this area to have a kind of a guidance around because the format has changed for the examination. Now they're asking more questions from Kubernetes. In fact, even though it's a Docker examination, but the fact of the matter is they're asking questions from Kubernetes. So there's a split of close to 30% of the questions from Kubernetes. So that's one of the things that should be taken into account. And another thing is that the question, I mean, that's something which has changed for almost 1 year, but then the questions are DOMC types in which you'll just have to see, you'll just be seeing one options around for the questions. And if you select yes, it's fine. Otherwise, yeah, you move on to the next option. And once you've selected yes or no in one of the options, you cannot go back and change that option. So that also is something to be looked after because when I gave the examination, it so happened that for the few of the questions, I kind of I was thinking that yeah, the right option will come, but then all the three options passed, and then I ended up answering no, selecting nothing for that answer for that question. So yeah, those are things that should be taken into account. You don't have much materials to be online to practice for a DOMC examination, but then yeah, there are certain tricks which I'll be explaining in this video. To start off with, I kind of work as a service delivery manager. I've got close to 14 years of experience, primarily into telecom, but then I've moved into IT industry for the past 1.5 years. I work on cloud, AI, DevOps operations, agile. So when I say I work in the DevOps operations, it so happened that I used to come up with the terms like, of course, my applications were hosted on cloud. So I kind of did the certification for cloud, AWS cloud certification, then Azure, and then I started hearing the terms of Kubernetes and Docker, and that's when I started to kind of get to understand more. And then I thought that yeah, certification is the best answer for that. So let's try and do that. So I that's why I picked a Docker certification examination. So for my understanding, because I was not somebody who was kind of had to work on a daily operations or daily on the Docker certifications or the coding part, but more from an understanding part. But to clear this examination, of course, you need hands-on part, which I kind of did at parts as well. So, okay, without further ado, let me just start and give the overview of what are the things which are important for Docker certification examination. Well, for me, the certifications, I mean, the study reference for the certifications were three things. One is a 2 hour video from KodeCloud. I think Mohammed Munshah is, if I've like pronounce the name correctly. But then yeah, it's a KodeCloud video for 2 hours. Docker, yeah, explaining Docker in 2 hours. That's what the title reads. Just go through it. I think that gives a good overview for somebody who is just starting the Docker. It's a good thing. Then, of course, that is not enough. The other part is because it just talks about Docker, so and parts in Kubernetes. But I also took a course in Udemy from Zeal Vohra. Again, I think I pronounced the name correctly. It's, I think, 17 to 18 hours of a course, but then it's a great course because it kind of gives a good overview of Docker and Kubernetes both. And a lot of questions and practice tests are complementing the examination. And to be honest, a lot of questions came from that practice test from Gil Vora in the examination. So it definitely is a big help. And I would recommend it strongly for the people who are preparing for the Docker certification examination. The final thing is the Docker certification or Docker Kubernetes course, Docker Kubernetes course, oblique or double quotes, the container masterclass. Good read. Again, 12, 13 hours of a course. You don't have to go through all the courses, but then all the kind of lectures, but then just take that as a side material. It will help you in giving the good overview on Kubernetes. So of course, Zeal, Vora, and Code Cloud will help you cover parts, most of the parts. But then to give give you that extra confidence and yeah, edge. I think this particular third course, Docker Kubernetes course, the Container Masterclass, will complete that whole thing. Of course, at the side, you'll have to also practice on Docker environment. I think KodeCloud is already when you do the 2 hours course from Cloud, it gives you the platform within you can start practicing with various tools and yeah, various commands. After doing the certification, start preparing the notes and then kind of go through the notes all the time because that's very much important. I also kind of referred three or two practice tests. Yes, one is Skill Cert Pro, very good. Just go through it. It's I think it cost me around $10, but then I think it's worth it. And then there is another material which is absolutely free. There are 28 set of papers in there which is Chercher.tech.com. There's a word of caution. It only has Docker questions. So you will be very thorough with Docker questions. You will have a great confidence in Docker question if you go through that Chercher.tech. But then for that additional edge of Kubernetes, uh, Skillsword Pro, and then Zeal, Vohra course, and yeah, the Container Masterclass. These three things will complement it and complete the whole course. So that's how this preparation comes. It took me around exactly 1 month of a time to prepare for this and then give this examination. So yeah, that's a tentative timeline for somebody who is actually just kind of a novice to this technology, this Docker technology thing. Examination, as you all know, is $195, so I won't go much into details. That's already available in the public forum. DOMC question, just little words on that. Uh, I think I've already spoken that you need to be careful about that. The tick or the tips and the tricks of that clearing that DOMC examination is that you need to start practice the mock test. Do as many mock tests as possible, and that's number one trick. And number two trick is when you give the practice examination, the mock when you read the mock questions, do not look into the options or yeah, the answers list. Uh, just read the question and try to think in your own mind what could be the answer to it. Once you start building that confidence, once you start developing wherein like you just see the questions and you've got the answer, that's when you will be able to kind of uh, I mean you'll be greatly comfortable with this DOMC questions. So that's the trick of the trade. Do not look for options, just think in the mind that what could be the option, right? Another key part that I've already discussed is that you'll have 30% question from Kubernetes, so practice the same. So yeah, that pretty much sums up. I don't want to make this video very long and very prolonged. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the whole Docker certification examination from my perspective. Yeah, and yeah, I think we've covered it all, and I'll be more than happy. I'll of course share all the links of whatever I've shared in the description below. But at the same time, if you have any questions or yeah, I'll be more than happy to kind of help you around if you reach out to me or comment me. I'll because I was in the same boat, so just from a perspective that I want to help people if they have any questions around. And I've just given this examination, so please do feel free to reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to help you around. Thanks a lot for watching this video, and yeah, bye bye.